We're going to call it touchdown or tall tale. Will it happen or won't it happen? Ryan Wilson and Emory Hunt are here. We're going to start with Trey Hendrickson, finally reporting to camp today. Touchdown or tall tale, Emory, he will be on the field week 1.
Touchdown, man. At the end of the day, football players want to play football, and that list he was on, that's all Hall of Famers. Mark Gastineau should be a Hall of Famer, but that's a great list to be on, and it shows you how productive he is when he's out there. And now, because they drafted Shamar Stewart, and you get a healthy Cedric Johnson and Ken Ample back, and hopefully steps taken forward by Miles Murphy, another former first-round pick, all of the pressure won't be on Trey Hendrickson, so he could probably get 20 sacks if he's out there with all of that help. So I think as the summer goes along and week 1 comes around, we're going to see him out there lining up on the opposite side of the left tackle and getting to the quarterback like we've always seen him, albeit with the new deal.
Yep, touchdown. Just like that Emory Hunt jacket there, absolute touchdown. By the way, Hassel, I watched the original Batman last night with my son. Emory is a perfect encapsulation of Jack Nicholson, but I don't want to get too far afield because he said everything I want to say about Trey Hendrickson. What is plan B if Trey Hendrickson isn't out there? It's going to be giving up 50 points a game. So it boggles my mind that the Bengals haven't gotten this taken care of, but they just had this issue with Shamar Stewart for the contract language, also an edge rusher. And if Shamar isn't ready to go at the beginning of the season, he may not be. If Trey decides not to go out there because he doesn't get a new deal, this defense is going to be way worse than what we saw a year ago. So hopefully both sides can come to an agreement. Trey gets paid what he's worth. And I don't think Emory's far off. Like 17.5 sacks last season could easily be 20 if he's properly motivated, and paying him more than $21 million a year on average, which is about middle of the pack for elite edge rushers, seems to probably be the type of motivation to get him where he wants to be.
They've paid their wide receivers a lot. Jamar Chase, the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, over $40 million a year. Touchdown or tall tale, Terry McLaurin of the Commanders is going to end up in the top 5 here in contract AAV, ahead of A.J. Brown at around $32.5 million. Emory?
I would say tall tale. I would get closer to, let's say, inside the red zone with this tall tale. As long as he gets ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown, based on Terry McLaurin's age, which is a critical point in this. He's 30. He'll be 30 by the time the season kicks off. That's a key number, so you want to give him another swing at bat and reassess when he's at the end of that contract. But because of his age, and when you think about those guys that are top 5, you wouldn't want to say put him ahead of any one of those guys or into that mix, but right ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown, puts him at a nice even level to where he gets a significant raise from where he is now. You give him the tip of the cap for being the leader that he is, while also not overpaying someone that's on, let's say, the other side of 30.
Realistically, tall tale in the world of Ryan Wilson, I think he should be inside that top 5. And Emory's exactly right. He's 29, and the guys currently in the top 5, Jamar Chase is 25, JJ is 26, CD is 26, DK Metcalf is 27, and Garrett Wilson, who just got paid, is 25. I would argue that Terry McLaurin is more important to Washington than DK Metcalf was in Seattle or will be in Pittsburgh in terms of what he brings play in and play out. But again, he's a few years older, and unfair or not, that probably necessitates him falling outside of that top 5. He's worth $30+ million a year. The question becomes, can he and the Commanders come to some sort of agreement? What is the second number when the first number is going to be a 3? Because I think outside of most quarterbacks, the player with the most leverage right now, even more so than Trey Hendrickson at the non-QB position, is Terry McLaurin, because that offense will only go as far as he allows it to go, even though Jaden Daniels is probably a top 5 quarterback at this point. He was a huge reason for that success a year ago. They need Terry McLaurin out there because there's no clear-cut number 2 if he doesn't show up when they're ready to go.
Ryan Wilson, our draft analyst, taking a little bit of break from the draft right now to talk about what's going to happen on the field this season. But you've been asked this question for the last couple of years as it pertains to Travis Hunter. Will he play both sides of the ball? We were at Jags camp yesterday. Pete Prisco asked Travis Hunter that question. And Travis Hunter said, yes, I can play both sides of the ball. I can play every snap. And Ryan, the average number of snaps in an NFL game is 125. Touchdown or tall tale, Hunter will average over 100 snaps a game.
Chris, maybe many people don't know this about you, but you're great at impersonations. Travis Hunter, I'll give you a C-. I was hoping for an A+ Pete Prisco. Maybe we can get that on the back end. In terms of 100 snaps a game, I'm going to go tall tale. And it's not because, and he told Pete this yesterday, he's in insane athletic shape. And Trevor Lawrence is repeated that. He said he's never seen a better athlete in terms of endurance than Travis Hunter. The issue is that he's banged up year in and year out because he plays so much, and you don't want to put him in a situation where he is unavailable. Now, I think there are conversations to be had whether he plays 60 to 70 snaps a game and how you divvy that up on either offense or defense. But 100 is going to be pushing it, and if his body can't withstand that over a 12-ish game season in college football, there's no way he can do it over 17 games against essentially all 5 stars on the other side of the field.
Right there with you, Ryan. You can't ignore the fact that the NFL is full of everyone's best, right? So I would say tall tale as well. And it's going to be a little bit more nuanced because when you think of Travis Hunter and you think of what he does and what he brings to the table on both sides of the ball, the NFL is such a segmented specialist league. So by formation, by personnel grouping, you can whittle that number down to about what Ryan said, 60 to 70 plays, which is more than enough for someone playing both sides of the ball. I would even add maybe 5 more plays, special plays for him playing special teams. We don't know if he's going to do that just yet, but over 100 or averaging 100 in this league, I don't think so. So I'll say tall tale.
By my count, Liam Cohen is the 7th different Jacksonville head coach over the last 19 seasons. The Pittsburgh Steelers have had 1. Mike Tomlin, entering year 19, he has never had a losing record. Touchdown or tall tale, Ryan, that streak ends this season with Aaron Rodgers.
I'll just start with this. This man went 8-1 with Mason Rudolph and Doug Hodges at quarterback. If I were to tell you 5 years ago DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers would be on this team and that they might lose more games than they win, you would probably think I had gone crazy. No, this is a tall tale. He's done it with less. And for as much off-field stuff that Aaron Rodgers might bring to the field, everyone seems incredibly excited in Pittsburgh, including offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, about Aaron Rodgers' arrival. DK Metcalf, as I mentioned, is there. The offensive line should be better. They drafted a running back in the 3rd round, and Caleb Johnson replaced Najee Harris. And the defense, I think, is going to get a little bit better. They do lose Minka, but they add Jalen Ramsey to go along with those other young players. I'm going to go tall tale. I think they win 9.5 games. I'm not sure what the over-under is, but 9.5 sounds about right in a tough division, but I think they win more than they lose.
Yeah, I'll say tall tale as well. I like the fact that Pittsburgh can still run the football now with the added weapons that they have. They also have a very good tight end group that goes criminally underutilized, and defensively, they'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I feel like they seem to roll out the same type of guys every year, regardless of the season, regardless of the coach, regardless of the scheme. It seems like Pittsburgh's defense always will give a team problems. And when you think about how Aaron Rodgers played the back end of last year, as he got more normal and more acclimated to playing on a recovered Achilles, I think we'll see a better version of Aaron Rodgers. Not saying he's going to revert back to his MVP form, but he's going to revert back to playing really good football, efficient football, staying ahead of the chains. It'll look a lot like what we saw last year with Russ and Justin Fields out there. They'll probably flirt with that playoff spot once again.
If you believe that, I think you want to bet the total number of wins over 8.5. You get plus money right now at over 8.5 for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin has gone almost 2 decades now without a losing season. The Dallas Cowboys have gone 3 decades without appearing in an NFC championship game. Touchdown or tall tale, Emory, that drought will end this season.
I feel like this is unfair, man. Of course this is a tall tale because you look at the Philadelphia Eagles who consistently reload and rebuild like a college football team. They have waves of talent at every level on their depth chart. So this is almost impossible for Dallas, especially when you can't stop the run. That's all you're going to have to do in late December, January is stopping the run. If you can't do that, at least we don't know if they can right now based on what they currently have in tow, then that's a big problem moving forward. So I would say definitely a tall tale, but I feel like this was unfortunate for the Cowboys. This is an unfortunate question to ask to wrap up the segment.
This is a shot at Brandon Baylor, Cowboys fan, and I think Emory's exactly right. Unless we're moving the Eagles outside of this division, I'm not sure why we're talking about this. The other thing is something that the Eagles don't do in the front office and ownership. They don't call out their best players about why they're not signing deals that would make them, happy. Because Micah Parsons has yet to be unsigned. They drugged their feet on Dak and CeeDee Lamb previously. And the bigger concern, because Micah will eventually get signed and make more money than TJ Watt currently does. But the bigger issue is that they keep losing offensive linemen to injuries. Now, short term with Tyler Guyton, which is great news, but they lost backup in Jones. So they have to figure all that out as well, and that's never going to be a good thing. We've seen Dak struggle when the offensive line has struggled, and the Eagles feel like they're hitting on all cylinders, and I include the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs in that conversation. So I don't think the Cowboys are going to win this division unless something crazy happens that we can't even imagine as we sit here on July 30th.
30 years ago, the 1995 season, the last time the Cowboys made the NFC Championship game. There's a reason we asked you guys that question, because we are at Cowboys camp today, and our coverage continues next, Jacqueline.